Hey, everybody, this is Andrew Olsen here with Dickerson Baker. I want to talk to you today about the importance of asking donors to give gifts from their assets instead of their cash. So, the reality is in the US, only about 7% of all wealth is held in cash. 93% ish, somewhere around there, is held in other assets, real estate, donor advised funds, stock, retirement accounts, things like that, right? So, if your fundraising is focused on asking for a donor to write a check, give a credit card gift, or maybe you're forward thinking and you say, hey, give us a contribution monthly from an ACH in your bank, that might feel like you're tapping into something else. It's still just their cash, though. And so that means that we're all just fighting over like 7% of what's possible in our nation from the generous donors that want to support us, rather than inviting them to give in ways that are more meaningful to them and also going to make a greater impact for us. We see a couple things when organizations begin to ask for asset gifts and donors begin to give that way because they realize, gosh, that's something the charity wants and it could be a good thing for me. We see a couple of different changes in donor behavior. First of all, the gift size usually gets bigger. So instead of maybe $100 or even a $500 contribution, you're more likely to get $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $25,000 gifts. Those donors tend to retain longer and they begin to see you as an investment strategy versus a charity. So they're not giving you a small gift because you have a need. You become the organization and the cause in which they're investing their assets in, and that just radically changes the way that they think about you. We have one partner right now that we work with that has started doing this when we began working with them, and we promote asset giving in a number of different ways across their entire donor base, because you just never know who has capacity that you're not aware of. And they've seen $1 million increase year over year in gifts of assets. And it was really funny because the chief development officer pulled us aside recently and said, look at this change, right? Like, it's amazing that donors just do what we ask them to do. Like, we started saying, hey, we'd like you to give from your assets. And all of a sudden, we have $1 million more year over year in giving, all from asset-based gifts. And these donors weren't giving at that level before. So that's the kind of impact that this can make. In fact, I have another client that we partner with that was a little bit skeptical about this, but tested it once with us. And a donor whose prior highest gift was like $150 gave us $70,000 stock gift. And immediately that organization called and said, okay, we're believers. We get it now, right? So we're going to start asking for asset gifts more frequently. And we're seeing this consistently across our partner base, that when you double down on inviting donors to give from those other categories, explaining to them that it actually has like a tax benefit for them in many cases, and that you desire to receive gifts like this, they just completely change the way they engage with you. And it's not going to be everybody, right? But it's going to be a decent percentage of people who have significant wealth. And so those numbers add up real fast. So I would say if you're not focused on asset-based giving, you need to start now. And even if you are, you probably aren't doing it at the level that you should be to really engage your donor base and get this to be sort of a day-to-day giving activity in a way that people think about primarily giving to you. So I just encourage you, think about it differently, have conversations with your leadership and your board, begin to test it and promote it anywhere that you can. Also, if you don't have a donation platform that allows you to accept donor advised funds, stock, crypto, things like that, you probably ought to start looking at other partners, because that's going to be the wave of the future as well. Take care.